right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jeep Life Podcast Live Edition. We're coming to you on Facebook and the YouTubes, and we're getting warmed up. We have a special guest with us tonight, and it is Kaylee Peterson from Midland. And I'm excited.
Talking everything radio.
Well, not over a radio.
Not
You're
probably listening to us over your radio.
There you go.
But we're going to be talking about different kinds of radios.
There's a buttload of radio communication going on with this. There's Bluetooth and all that stuff. That's all radio. Yeah. Wirelesses, all that stuff. Hey, Kayla, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome. It usually takes a few minutes for people to warm up to us because they get the notification that we're live, and then they start signing on, and life is good. And we have, it's almost like clockwork, the people that do it in order. We have regulars that will.
Mm-hmm.
The true fans.
That's right.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, we've been excited about this for a while. Even before you got involved. We're excited to have you. All right, why has nobody come in the chat yet?
I gotta bring it up.
And I forgot to bring water. I was so excited.
Do you need water?
No, I'll be fine. Remember that one time I just lost my voice completely on air?
I was just going to say, you're going to lose your voice.
I actually used to work in it as a news reporter, and that happened to me on live TV once. So I feel your pain. I've been there.
And nobody recognized it for a minute to jump in and save me. So I was just...
You're struggling out there. I feel you. I've been there.
Yeah, and that was back when our episodes were, an hour and a half long. They were too long. Now we run about an hour-ish, give or take a few. We've kind of got it streamlined. And what we'll do tonight is we'll do the interview portion first, and that way we can say bye and respect your time, and then we'll go in and do our normal shtick that we do for the first half.
Okay, sounds good. Whatever you guys need.
So part 2 first.
Yes.
Yep. Part 1.
Part 2 first.
And through the magic of editing, no one will be to the wiser.
Oh,
yep.
It's amazing.
Why is no one in the comments section? There's not a soul.
Because there are 3 people on Facebook. Which happens occasionally.
I think it's too nice outside tonight.
It is very nice. And we're
right on time.
I mean, yeah, it's true. We're right
Maybe
on
that's
time.
the problem. Everyone's used to being like 8:45. It's like, oh.
Sometimes.
Well, we could just go.
We can just go.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. There's my good friend Will. He's helping me out.
I'm just looking at Midland products. This happens
Which
all
is
the
the
time.
other thing that happens. We go shopping while we're on air. Oh,
my bad. One of the 500 Facebook chats and groups that I manage / part of.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and get rolling on this then.
Yeah, let's
Is that
do
cool?
The button.
Excellent. No, it won't hit the button.
You don't need to hit the button.
Right. Because we're already on.
Oh.
Magically, right?
Yep.
Oh.
It's
a non-button button.
Yeah.
It's different.
Excellent.
I can see
the power of automation.
You haven't been here for our interview section. Well, hey, we're at the interview portion of the podcast tonight. We don't have a main topic. We have a main guest. And I'm excited that we have Kaylee from Midland Radios with us tonight. Hey, Kaylee, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks so much for having me on.
Well, thanks for giving up your Monday night to come hang out with 3 guys sitting around a table talking Jeeps.
Of course, anytime. I mean, it's a Monday, so this is the highlight of my day.
well, we're gonna let you down easy.
I don't know that anyone has ever told us we're the highlight of their day.
I mean, it's a Monday, so
we don't know what time zone she's in. We could be getting her out of lunch or something.
Oh, that's true. So what is your role with the company, and kind of set us up with who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I am Midland's PR and content specialist. I'm actually coming up on 3 years at Midland. So basically anything that you see written by Midland, I have written. So I do most of the company's writing and really just work to help organize our content, go out on photo shoots, help with our email and SMS campaigns. And then I also manage our PR and SEO and affiliate marketing agencies. So I wear a lot of hats. Anytime there's usually some kind of video or something, it's usually me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Midland is actually, if you look on our website or our social media, I think most people would assume that Midland is this huge company, and to an extent it is, right? But we actually have under 50 employees. So wow. It's and that includes the warehouse. So it's actually a super small collaborative team, and we kind of just all wear a lot of hats and help each other out.
Well, that's awesome. I actually work for a company that would appear to be a very large company and under 30 employees. So I'm right there with you.
Looks can be deceiving. So yeah, we do a lot of really big, exciting things at Midland, but it's usually just a small crew working together to get it done, which makes it so rewarding.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. It has to be super rewarding, right?
Mm-hmm. To be able and it creates such a collaborative, really tight-knit, close team. So that's really something awesome and unique about Midland.
Yeah, because you can't do it yourself. You need others to help out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's fantastic. And you're right. I think of Midland, and I see the website, and it's all super professional. It's all well done, and all the content on there is terrific. And I think there's a huge team there, and and that huge team's Kaylee.
No. I get a lot of help from everyone else, and I'm helping them out. Yeah, it's pretty. I think our marketing team is under 15 people.
Wow. Yeah, well, I'm a part of our marketing team, and I think there's 6 of us total. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So you say 3 years you've been there. What's the coolest thing you've done so far with the company?
That's a hard one. I feel like working for Midland has taken me to a lot of places that I wouldn't have gone otherwise. So I think that's really awesome. Previously I worked as a news reporter, so my work travel was pretty limited to a specific viewing area, right? But the cool thing about Midland is we travel all over the country to, sell our products at shows and expos, but also get to know our customers and have conversations with them. So for me, the off-road overlanding Jeep community is something new to me, or was when I first started working at Midland. So it's been so inspiring and interesting and just awesome to get around those people and get around, the entire world. So that it is. So I think, for me, what's really awesome is I've been to a couple of Jeep Jamborees and seeing people use our product in the wild and see just how important their radios are, right? Because I know the importance of two-way radios, but it's really awesome to see other people use them that frequently and have that understanding as well. I go to a lot of different shows where we're selling product and we're talking to customers. So going to an event where you can actually see the product in use has been really awesome. So I've gone out to Arizona and gone off-roading. We're based in Kansas City. I've gone to Springfield, Missouri and done some off-roading there as well. So I think for me, that's been the most rewarding, cool part about working for Midland.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's so interesting that you say like how much it's, this tool, because that's exactly what it is for us. It is another part of our tool bag that is literally glued to my hip for an entire weekend. Anytime I leave the house, I make sure I have my radio, and it is fully charged, extra batteries charged, and it is an asset that I use all the time when I'm out on this trail. So, like, using Midland and knowing that it's going to be a reliable source for me is a crucial part of, like, it's just like having my battery charged in my Jeep to make sure it starts.
To that point, my confidence, I led a group this week, and I hadn't planned on and prepared anything to lead a group this weekend. I'm out wheeling, and so I'm jumping out and spotting people and having my radio on me and knowing that it was going to work. I didn't have to think about that while I was having somebody's Jeep and their life in my hands, telling them where to put the tire, and being able to have that in-cab communication with a handheld was pretty awesome.
I think some people view walkie-talkies, micromobiles, two-way radios in general as maybe an afterthought, right? Like that's something we'll get to down the line with our rig. But I love talking to people who know just how important it is for your safety, because it's such an essential item when you're out there on the trails for so many different reasons, whether you're spotting or doing a recovery, whether you run into vehicle problems or someone gets hurt, you have to have that radio out there because there's no cell phone service. And honestly, cell phones can just they're not as instantaneous. So it isn't as efficient. So you're trying to get a text out and you might have enough service for it to leave, but it might take a while for it to send. But then you also have to wait for someone to get it, respond, or they have to answer a phone call. But with walkie-talkies or micromobiles or two-way radios in general, it's just push-to-talk communication, and that's both critical and just efficient.
Yeah, and it's almost instant. I mean, it's literally instantaneous, and you don't have to.
Well, it is point to point.
Right.
Yep.
I see you, and it is going from me to you.
Yep.
Not from me all the way away, far, far away, and then somehow making it back to you. Like she said, texting. Sometimes we've done that on the trails. Just sometimes we're on different trails and trying to get to each other. It could be, sometimes it's 15, 20 minutes. I'm not checking that when I'm on a trail, but I'm listening actively to the radio.
In Moab, you're not texting.
Oh, there you go.
Right. In
That's
those remote locations, you're not texting. You're not calling.
Reliability of communication, I think, is the key point out of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Something to pick off of what you said, too, is like how sometimes people think, radios are an afterthought. And I'll be the first to say it was an afterthought for me. But now that I've used a bunch of different radios out on the market. Midlands I am the most impressed with and the happiest with. But it was an afterthought for myself because I always just relied on, seeing the person that close and
or yelling at
hand
them
signals.
And they're 15 feet away,
but now using radios as like an everyday thing while I'm out on the trail is a lot more important, and I need to have it.
Right. 100%. Yeah, I was out I rode passenger with Eric Ammerman out in Moab, and I know Andrew had set him up with some, a nice in-vehicle radio, and I was blown away by how much easier it was to handle the in-vehicle radio than it was a handheld. But when I left the vehicle to go do some spotting, I needed the handheld. So it was kind of a best of both worlds because we have both radios in the cab, and that to me was it was a game changer for me. Eye-opening. I've always dealt with just handhelds, but I've always felt like it was real. I keep it right here on my chest, but sometimes it falls off when I hit a big obstacle, and I'm not a gentle
You're not a gentle giant.
But I love the in-dash feature of that. So I think it's a good time to kind of branch off and talk about the differences between the in-cab radios versus a handheld radio. What's the difference?
Well, they're designed to be used together, right? So you have your micromobile, your in-vehicle unit, installed, hardwired, or plugged into the DC adapter. Then you have your handheld radio for when you're jumping out of the vehicle for spottings, recoveries, or whatnot. They're supposed to be used together, but the main difference is power. So Midland's micromobile GMRS two-way radios are ranging from anywhere we have, a 5-watt beginner radio, but I would say most people start with our 15-watt option, and they go up to 50 watts, which is the maximum of power allowed by law. A handheld is going to be anywhere from, I don't know, like a watt to up to, maybe 5 watts of power. So it's really just designed for that short distance when you can see someone type of communication. But the micromobiles are designed, to get you from the front of the group to the back of the group, or when you can't even see someone on the trails. So there's a lot more power that come with those radios. Those radios, the micromobiles, have a lot of features like NOAA weather radio, which is another key safety factor that they bring. You might look at the forecast before you head out on the trails, but that can easily change throughout the day. Yeah. Or, maybe you don't look at the forecast before you go. So it's really important to have that reliable, accurate, fast information straight from the National Weather Service. So if you are out on the trails, you're aware of that and you're able to seek shelter when that's necessary. So there's a lot of different features like that, and you can charge different devices from the micromobiles, but really it comes down to power and crystal clear communication.
Yeah, that's huge. And I, growing up, my granddad listened to NOAA religiously, and I find that to be my happy spot. When that's on, I can fall asleep. It's soothing. I think the guy's like 200 years old.
That's still alive.
He's still alive. And he's pumping out those recordings on weather on loop. That's amazing.
So wait, now did Eric have a different antenna setup? Because I did notice he and another individual had what appeared to me to be kind of a stubby antenna. It was a different style than the big whip that I think a lot of us are accustomed to.
There is a lot of different styles for antennas. It's crazy how much I know about antennas now. The decibel range, right? I think most people assume that the higher the decibel that you find in an antenna, the further it's going to go. But that's actually not how antennas work. So a 3 decibel antenna, something with a lower dB, is actually going to cast a taller signal. So that's going to be good for areas with a lot of obstructions like trees, mountains, hills, even if you're in a city as best as possible, right? Because the city does provide a lot of obstructions. But then something with a higher decibel, like our MX-AT01 antenna, is 7.5 dBs, and that's actually going to cast a wider signal. So that's really good for open areas, portions of Moab, or, the highway or a farm, because it casts a wider signal. So it really depends on the environment that you're in. The stubby antenna that you were mentioning is our 3 dB ghost antenna. It is so sleek. It's so low profile. So it's great, if you're out and about in the city, you don't have to worry about someone seeing this flashy antenna and, maybe that encourages them to take it or whatever. But it's also great for the trails because you're not worried about trees knocking it over. It just has like a really sleek look to it too. And I think that's our most popular antenna that we have. We have a whip antenna too, and that's actually interchangeable with the 3 dB ghost antenna. And that whip antenna is 6 decibels. So you can really swap it out depending on the environment that you're in. And then just last summer, we launched our bull bar, ride the range bull bar antenna line. And, you know, the MX-ATO1 is similar to a CB Fire Stick antenna, but it's GMRS, and it's just super tall, super skinny, and it has that 7.5 decibel. And then there's several other antennas that just have that really durable, heavy-duty design that's really modeled after the Australian overlanding. But people have been asking for it here in the States, so that's what we brought them, and they come in varying heights and decibels. So wherever you are, you know, it's important to make sure that you're finding the right antenna for you.
I need to learn a lot more about antennas.
That was going to do the same thing. We're going to have Kaylee back on.
That's a whole other science.
I know. Yeah. It's the amount of antenna knowledge. I talk about it at like the Thanksgiving table. So it's a lot, but there's a lot of really helpful information on our website to kind of help you find the right antenna for you and the different mounting options as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good key point to look at, is how are the antennas mounted as well. Does every antenna mount in various ways, or so you can choose your antenna
and then your mount point
and then your mount solution to go with
that one that I was speaking about was like right up in the front,
and that was
like,
magnetic based.
See, and I love that because I do appreciate the look of people that like to keep the whip up all the time. Yep. They've got it in the back. Some just unscrew it and they take that off because it's a hinge mount in the back.
Yep.
But the fact that it does not, you don't need to go run the whole line in the back and yada, yada, yada. You can just pop it up when you're ready to go.
Yeah. Our most popular antenna and mount combination is the 3dB Ghost antenna and then the universal lip mount. And the lip mount is so cool, especially if you just don't want to do anything permanent or whatnot to your vehicle. It just slides right in the hood of your car, and then you just screw the antenna onto it. It twists it on, and then you can easily, you know, twist that antenna on and replace it with the whip antenna. The bull bar antennas are a whole different beast. They need to be mounted on a 1/2-inch hole. Most people put them, you know, right on the front of their vehicle. A lot of people put the MX-ATO1 that looks like the CB Fire Stick, but is for GMRS. They put that on the back. We have for the Ghost and then the whip antenna, we have roll bar mirror mounting brackets. You know, there's a lot of different options so that you can find the best fit for you.
You know, I think one of the questions I would have about, like, you know, before we leave the antenna thought process is, we can say you have whatever power. You could have as much power as you want in the radio to transmit. I think what I'm curious about is what one is the most effective to capture weak signal from those that don't have strong radios or a lesser ineffective brand.
How do you
radio.
make up for somebody else's inadequacies?
Like, hey, I can
I've been asking that question my entire life.
Well, that was the segue, Terry. But I mean, you know, it really is like, I always wonder this because sometimes people in groups that I lead, because not everybody, we were saying it before, hey, sometimes the radio is the afterthought. Not everybody has one. And I have like a little handful of compatible radios, but they're just a lesser thing that I have that I hand to somebody.
Channel,
right, I hand it so they have something.
Yep.
And normally we're in a pretty tight pack, so it's not that big of a problem. But I'm curious, is there a particular antenna design or one of the antennas that favors more capture of weak signal?
I think you just have to worry about the antenna that's best for you and the antenna that's best for your setup, because and then you encourage your friends to go get the correct antenna.
That's the right answer. It was a test. I was just putting the ball on the tee.
Yeah, you need to tell them to just go buy an
antenna. Dave says, I like the train of thought to switch from Ghost to the whip. Is there thoughts on one of or versus the other on that?
Again, it's going to really depend on the environment that you're in. So we actually just went to a huge Midwest off-roading show this past weekend, and I talked to a lot of people about this specific question. And there was a decent amount of people that bought both the Whip and the Ghost antenna because the Ghost is, great for those environments where there's a lot of obstructions. The Whip is good for wide open spaces, and they are so interchangeable and easily interchangeable that it makes sense to have both, and then you can just, depending on the environment that you're in, you can switch them out.
So I have a question for you. Do you notice, so I've heard this, like this is something that you would see in CBs, but is there a minimum height requirement, like that it needs to be away from like the metal of a vehicle or like obstructions of the vehicle? Like, and that's kind of CB style always needed to be like 8 to 12 inches above the top of the
to radiate properly, right?
Well, GMRS is definitely different than CB, and your vehicle does act as an obstruction itself, right? So that's why you would never put an antenna inside your vehicle.
Okay.
Like that would just be not good. So you always want it outside of your vehicle, and ideally you'd want to be able to install it as high as possible. So it's all about finding the right place for you. And yeah, you want to make sure it's not close to too many things, because then that could cause some interference. Like you don't want your GMRS antenna right next to a CB antenna if you're running both radios.
Right.
So you want to kind of keep those away from each other so that there's no interference. But yeah, you want to mount it as high as possible generally.
Okay.
Excellent. What's coming new? What do we have to look forward to? And I guess kind of the preamble to that is GMRS is kind of taking over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Particularly in our industry, because when I started doing this, it was all CB, and now GMRS is happening. Is there anything new that you guys are doing or developing that you can talk about?
Something new. There's always something new. Soon we have a really exciting product coming out. It's actually, I tell people all the time, this is my favorite product that Midland has launched since I've been there. I think it's just a really cool product. It's something that people have been asking for a while. So it's super excited. I can't wait to talk to all of the different people that have been asking me for this product for years and tell them that it's here or see, if they get it. But really I can tell you that it's GMRS, and it's really going to take portable power to new levels. And it's a really heavy duty design, and it just really has a badass design to it too. So I'm really excited for that to come out. That's coming out in the next month or so. So I would encourage everyone, if they haven't already, to sign up to get our emails and texts, because then you'll be the first to be notified. Because one of the things that makes me so excited for this launch is I think they're going to just fly. Like, I think so many people are going to want this product. So we have that. And then we just have some really exciting other products coming this summer as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the non-answer answer.
I want one with GMRS channels that no one else has.
Well,
so when we go to the trail ride, it's like, I got 3, right. I got 7, I got 17, I've got 492, and you can't. Only you have it.
So actually, Kaylee, can you speak to? I'm actually looking at the MXT500. There is programmable channels that you can kind of program into your device that other people could jump onto?
Yes, so that's programming for repeater channels. So, there's a certain amount of repeater channels that are available on our other micromobiles, but I would say the MXT500 is the most programmable radio we have, which makes it a super solid radio beyond the fact that it's a 50-watt radio, so max power allowed by law, and also it is waterproof and dustproof. But yeah, that's to gain access to additional repeater channels. So you can customize it that way.
So now, would those channels be available on any type of handheld or not really?
It would have to be a repeater capable handheld, and they would all have to be programmed to the same channel.
Okay. All right.
And the repeater would have to be set to that same setting as well.
Okay. Interesting.
There are public repeaters. It's part of all the GMRS stuff, but I don't know that anybody's tapped into whether that even exists in some of the places that we frequent.
Right.
I know there's a site out there. There's a site out there where I don't know the exact site, but it has a list of all the repeaters and the frequencies and channels or whatever that you need to be on for it.
Interesting. And then I guess my next question is, I have a very open vehicle.
Very.
No roof, no, it's mostly roll cage. But, you said waterproof, dustproof, what kind of, is that a big thing for Midland, or is that, just only certain products offer that?
The MXT 500 is, out of the micromobiles, the only waterproof one.
Okay.
So if I know someone that has an open air vehicle, that's going to be the radio that I recommend.
All right. Well, thanks for that recommendation.
Stay tuned for something coming soon that would pair well with that.
Okay.
That would be good for
to be honest with you, I have
air.
the GXT 1000, which I noticed on your website is you guys pair that with a lot of other of your, this is the handheld, but your micro mobiles, this is you do a lot of bundling with this, and I've never had an issue with this. I mean, I think I've had it through some pretty gnarly weather conditions at least. So, I mean, straight out of the box, I would say Midland is definitely some of the most rugged radios that I've had, or, most extreme that can withstand the elements.
Yeah, as of now, the GXT 1000 is our most popular handheld, or our most powerful handheld. Also popular too.
Yeah.
I know it's one of the top, if not the top selling consumer walkie-talkie in the country. It's just a super solid radio, and it's probably everyone's favorite.
Yeah. I mean, I can attest. So in my other life, I'm an alpine ski racer, and we actually use these radios for the time I can remember. They've been around forever too.
Same principles.
Yep.
And waterproof.
Awesome. All right, so somebody's choosing a new radio, and we've got all these offerings. I've got a whole page full of offerings. What's the best? Is it the micromobile, in car? Is it the handheld? What's the jump in point? What's your best choice if somebody doesn't have a radio, they want to get in and get a radio? Where do they go?
I tell people to get the MXT 275. It is one of our most popular radios that we sell. It's a micromobile, so it's one of those in-vehicle radios. It's 15 watts of power, so it's a really good starting point. And it's not intimidating, right? I think a lot of people maybe look at radios and think they're so intimidating. But I think a nice thing that we do at Midland is we make sure that our radios aren't intimidating at any level, because we want everyone to be able to use them, because they're so important to safety and connection on the trails. So the MXT 275 plugs right into the DC adapter, so it's really easy to install, usually an install in less than 10 minutes. Some people can, move it from vehicle to vehicle if they want because of that. I think the 275 is also great because it has our fully integrated control microphone, which means that all of the controls are on the microphone. So you can hide the radio unit away under your seat, in between the seats, center console, glove box, and that way all you have to mount on your dash is the microphone. It's just a really solid radio. I think it's a really good starting point for people who don't necessarily want the maximum level of power, but they want clear, crisp communication. I always say the MXT 275 is the way to go.
I mean, I've seen them around the industry. We have one in the Quadratech JTE.
Yep.
Eric uses one. Scott had one for a little bit. I think he's upgraded to a bigger. I think he went to the MXT 500. But I mean, like, I've heard great things about them at all times.
Yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to go. I'm probably going to. I love that, it's basically in the handheld part of it, and then add in a couple of handhelds.
And I've mounted the box or the base unit up underneath the dash before and in the glove box, and it's very easy to do.
I need like a cornucopia of handheld radios so I can hand those out when we have a trailer. I need like 8 to 10 radios. It's like, who's in the group who doesn't have one? Here you go.
Here you go.
Here's a coupon.
That question was actually posed to me this past weekend by somebody that wasn't in the group, and they asked me, they were like, do you hand out radios as part of your club rides?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, but I wish I did.
Right. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's really, it's kind of like dealer's choice with the leader of the group, but
yeah.
Every one of us have led more than once or thrice, and it comes up. It's a real thing, and it goes back to the very opening statements of this whole segment, which has been, what is the value of that immediate communication to the group and what's going on, and that's it right there.
All right, so here's a question that we have. He's looking to get an MXT 575, or should he wait a few weeks to see what's coming?
I would get the 575. That's a really awesome radio. You're not gonna. It's 50 watts of power, so you're not gonna find anything more powerful than that. All the controls are right there on the microphone, kind of similar to the 275, right? So you can hide that bass away. It's just a really solid radio. So I would say get the 575.
So, and then going kind of just jumping off of what you just said, the 575 is 50 watts of radio. So that is what you are legally allowed to broadcast out
on
there,
GMRS.
Correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, that's the main thing. This one, it is not completely waterproof, but it is kind of water resistant.
Yeah, and it has all the controls right there on the microphone. It's kind of the sister to the MXT 500.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. I want to look at that. I like the idea that it can be separated like that, combined with the antenna that you can quickly mount, dismount when you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The difference between the MXT 275 and the MXT 115 and the MXT 500 and 575 is that the 50 watt radios do have to be hardwired to your battery because of the amount of power that they push out. But it's such an easy thing to do. It's a simple process.
Jason,
hardwired.
Jason just heard another project that we're gonna be
hardwired. Yes. When you push to talk, all of a sudden the car goes.
It's not a winch.
All right, here's a great question in the forum. Don't forget, you also have to have a GMRS license from the FCC.
That's a good point.
Do you guys have a link from your website to that, or how do you encourage that?
Yeah, so getting a license is pretty easy. It is $35. It's good for 10 years. It covers your entire immediate family. And I would say for the most part, people, when they apply, they hear back within 48 hours. And it's not like you have to take a test or anything. You're just applying for that license and paying. So we actually do have a really helpful article on our website. If you go in and you search, what is a GMRS license and why do I need it? In the search bar, it'll take you to an article that has all the links and really helpful information about getting your license.
I told somebody they had to learn Morse code to get it.
Only you,
That's
Jason.
Well, that's how you get you have to still do that to get a ham license. So I was like,
yeah, ham license you do have to take a test for, but GMRS, no.
I actually just put it in our chat.
Awesome.
Why do I need a GMRS license, and how do I get it?
Well,
I got to read this.
Do it.
Yeah, I think when I did it, it was like 24 hours.
Yep.
But I think when I did it, it was $70.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
it went down right after I got it.
About 2 years ago, they slashed the cost from 70 to 35.
Right after I clicked submit, it went down to 35.
Then it went down.
That's generally how it goes. Then they charge me double. I don't know.
And then in 10 years, it'll go back to 70. I'll be like, oh, it just expired.
I think we hit most of the questions that we had. What else do you guys?
I got one.
Oh, you got one. All right.
What are some of the other products that Midland specializes in?
Yeah, beyond the Jeep world, beyond micromobiles, handhelds, antennas, mounts, we also are like the #1 selling weather radio in the country. So, you know, you guys were talking about listening to Noah with your grandpa. Yeah, we have the top selling weather radio in the country. That's great for having at your house. It should be the first line of information coming straight from the National Weather Service. So there's over 60 alerts that it does. And basically, as soon as the National Weather Service issues an alert, your radio gets notified. And we really encourage people to have that so they have multiple redundant ways of receiving alerts, because sometimes a cell tower can be damaged in a storm, or it can be overwhelmed by people using it. So if you have both a cell phone and a NOAA weather radio, you'll get the necessary information. We also make emergency radios. So they're really great for on-the-go use. If you're camping, if you're out jeeping, hiking, and, you know, even taking a road trip, they're great because they also have NOAA weather radio, but they move with you. So also super important to have with your weather radio, because as you evacuate for a hurricane, as you evacuate for a wildfire, or even if there's a tornado and you lose power, you have this emergency radio that's still going to bring you the latest information for the area that you're in. They also have flashlights and several different ways of power. So hand crank, solar, rechargeable batteries, that type of thing. And then beyond that, we also make business radios to help, you know, restaurants, hotels, warehouses, to keep them connected. And that's a totally different band of radio than GMRS and FRS. So that's pretty much what Midland does. We do also have CBs still. We were the first CB manufacturer in the country. So we do sell those, but we do see more people making the switch to GMRS these days.
I was actually looking for one other thing, and that is Bluetooth intercoms. So
yeah, that's a brand new product.
I was looking at that now.
Yeah, I'm in the rock crawl, like heavy duty rock crawling, off roading, and so an intercom system between two people for like spotting. That's what I've been like the next step of what I'm looking for. So I'm definitely
multi-point radio or something like
interested in that kind of stuff.
That's
too.
Cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I see the emergency crank weather radio.
I know.
I have to work at that. No.
You get a workout.
No, I can't do it.
Wait, I could see Terry now. Okay, put driver left.
Crank.
Stop, back it up.
Crank.
Awesome. Well, all right, where can people... Well, actually, no, I have one more question, because this radio does have the Jeep logo on it, and it is Jeep branded. How did that come about? Is it still going on? Because I just went on the website. I want to buy that radio, and it says it's sold out.
Yeah. We have so much love for the Jeep community. They have made such an impact on our business, our company. So we partnered with Jeep to kind of, I feel like Jeep people love anything that has the Jeep logo on it. So
you're right.
So we partnered with them. So we have the walkie-talkies that are Jeep branded that come in that soft shell carrying case and a bunch of accessories in there that kind of help make it easy for you not to lose your walkie-talkies or the chargers for them. Then we also have a Jeep branded MXT 275J and an MXT 575J. And those are the 15 watt and the 50 watt radios that have all the controls on the mic, and the mic is Jeep branded. It has the Jeep logo on it. So
yeah, that's
those are our
for
3
me.
Jeep products. They're probably sold out because we're headed to Jeep Beach this week, so we're taking pretty much all of our Jeep inventory with us.
I'll see you there. I'll see you there.
We'll be there.
Terry's got his eye on a purchase.
Okay, well, come find us. Might be some really good deals that you might not get on the website, or just some one-time offers.
Really good deals. Rock
so
bottom pricing.
Yeah, so our listeners, make sure to go by the Midland booth. Go by the Oracle booth first. Get your selfie with me, and then go hang out at the Midland booth and get your good deals there.
So, actually, talking about events, what events do you know of that you guys are going to be attending this year?
Yeah, so we actually just finished up More Expo here in Springfield, Missouri. We're headed to Jeep Beach this week. We'll be at Overland Expo West, Overland Expo East, Overland Expo Pacific Northwest. We'll be at all of those. And then we'll also be at the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion.
Okay.
And then there's a couple others mixed in there as well. But those are the big ones.
Awesome. I'll see you at some of them.
Yep. Hopefully I'll see you at Great Smoky Mountain.
Yep.
Yes, I'll be at Great Smoky Mountain. That's one of my favorite shows. So
awesome.
Come find us there too.
Will do. All right. So where can people find all the information they need about Midland and to keep in touch with you guys?
Yeah, you can head to our website, midlandusa.com. We have a ton of information there about our products and what we do. And I would say, a really great blog with a lot of resources that you can find. I'm not biased because I write all of it. But there's a lot of good information out there to help you find the radio, the antenna, or just the product that's right for you. You can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, at Midland USA.
Awesome. Well, make sure that everybody go check that out.
Yeah.
Like and follow them on all the platforms if you haven't already. Fantastic product. I know that we've had them in our hands, for a while, but very intimately this weekend, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Kaylee, I can't thank you enough for coming and hanging out and spending your Monday evening with the Jeep Life podcast. We love it.
I hope it remains the highlight of your day.
It shouldn't be hard to top this, though. I mean, a bucket of ice cream and a good movie, and Jeep Life podcast who? Well,
awesome.
Kaylee, I appreciate it. I'm going to let you go and respect your time. You are awesome, and we'd love to have you back anytime. Whenever those new products come out, if you want to do an exclusive release here,
absolutely,
we'd love it.
Yeah, happy to join you guys anytime, and I appreciate you guys having me on and letting us talk all things radio, because it's something that's really important and everyone should have.
Matter of fact, Jason, you're out. Kaylee, you're in.
Oh, guys.
All right. Thanks a bunch, and have a great night.
Thanks,
care.
you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was awesome.
Yeah. She knows a lot about radios.
I know. I felt really dumb the whole time. I mean, that's not hard to do, but
they make some really cool products too. I mean, we have had the opportunity to use them, abuse them, and put them through their paces. I've used them in many different aspects of my life.
Yep.
And I can say Midland has always been tried, true, proven, never had an issue. And on top of it, great customer support and everything else.
100%. Well, our thanks for Kaylee for coming on and hanging out with us. Let's kick off the regular show. How about it?
Hit that button.
I'm hitting that button. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeep Life Podcast. We are proudly presented by Armorlight, the toughest flooring on the trail. You, our listeners, get an exclusive discount, Jeep Life Podcast 10. Get you a complete system at goarmorlight.com. Our thanks to Armorlight for being our dear friends and helping us out and sponsoring our show. I am Jeep and Terry, and I am joined in the studio by Breaky Billy.
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. And Jetty Jason.
What's happening?
Nah, not much, man. It's so good to be in the studio with you guys. I know we got to spend a whole weekend together.
I'm still tired, man.
Doing Jeepy things.
We were doing Jeepy things together?
Cleaning
and
the
then
coal
Jeepy things
dust
apart?
I know.
Still cleaning the coal dust out of my ears.
I did Q-tip. I know I'm not supposed to, but I dug in there.
Oh, jeez.
And dug all that black grime out. It was gross.
Always is, but it
Yeah.
just makes you feel good just being up there.
It does. And what we're talking about is we got to hang out with our Jeep Club and do the Jeep Enthusiasts of Eastern Pennsylvania's spring trail ride. We went up a day early and wheeled, in a smaller group. It was going to be a small group, and it ended up being a
There
big
was a
group.
lot of
I was like, wait, all
was-
of these folks are our folks? Like,
there
this
was
is our
more
circle?
people in the Friday group than there was in my actual group.
I know. It's crazy. It was good to hang out with them. How it just started blooming and blossoming into this.
Well,
big-
because, like, for some odd reason, our friends, like, they're like, well, why did I have to find out from somebody else that you guys are going wheeling on Friday?
I know.
And it's like, well, you're always
But
invited.
we
It's
do
just
that. That's part of the program.
It's like we just forget to send out the mass text, and
Yeah,
we
there's
just
no neon sign.
we
here.
just
It's
expect
like, if you know,
yep. you got to show up Friday
You
before
know where, you know
Yep.
when.
Friday before the trail ride. You're always
That's it.
invited.
Yeah.
That's it.
I did get a couple nasty grams. Sorry, Matt.
Well,
Yeah, I know. But it was a good time. We got to do some killer things. I broke a few things. We got to do trail recoveries. We
did trail repairs.
do trail repairs
we
on
did a lot of
tires.
winching up a trail.
Oh, we broke that thing in good and proper, though.
Oh, jeez. There's some new trails being opened up at AOAA.
Yeah, always something new. I like that.
Not all of us were able to drive completely up them on their own power, but we winched up it.
Winched up it.
I did.
And kept on going. I mean, I had to winch the first time, and then I went back around and I did it for real on the second time.
I will vouch for it. We will all vouch for that.
Lots of skinny pedal.
I've got to get you the video of the rock exploding.
I know.
I
Yes.
have the video.
My hood is banged up, dude.
Dude, it was nuts. That was a crazy hill.
It was a big boulder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, there's a new trail at AOAA called Pick Your Poison, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4 different lines, pretty much. And I was told that the furthest left line is probably the hardest. So, in my nature, I had definitely had to give it a good old college
Let's start with
try.
the red and just go.
Yeah. So even to get into it, there is some big holes that tires get swallowed up into, and you just give it a little more pedal, and maybe you'll get up it.
An approach angle.
Yeah.
I think, that was, the second time around. That's what you had licked.
Yep.
You came in straight, and it's like, no. I think you got to
Gotta-
come in this way so you can get that way. And that's half the time. That's the art of it.
It really was. And also, I think the second time going up, I knocked a lot of the leaves out of the way.
Yeah, that
It
was brutal.
I mean, it was fresh trail. They just cut it. No one even drove it yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fungi was still on the rocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was mossy, wet, and leafy. All bad conditions
Yes.
to be wheeling in.
And then I get to the top of this ledge and basically put my tire on a rock that is somehow in some type of tension or compression.
Yeah.
It shoots it up through the frame area, hits the frame and explodes and blows my hood up and in and out. And
God, that was crazy. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
it was cool, though.
No doubt. Cool.
Dirt went everywhere. There was rocks on my hood. There was trees. There was sticks.
Well, I said to Jack, I'm like, this is why we stay away from the vehicles when they go.
Yeah. As we were like, Jack, get up there. Please stay.
You there.
You
up.
there.
Gravity. And it's like, gravity will keep you safe. I'm like, explosion rock. Okay, maybe not.
That's new.
Yeah.
Ooh,
No, it's
okay.
definitely something like trail safety is one of the things that, I think is very important. I think it's something that I try to keep in mind. I always try to make sure nobody is in the down side of, if I do end up on my lid, trying to keep people out of that
Yep.
realm.
And I think that goes especially even if anybody's going to be part of spotting apparatus.
Yes.
Is awareness. Because I know there was one time that I was on your downside. I'm like, hang on.
Yep.
So that I could get up and away. And
Yeah.
then Don was on the other side. So I got out of the way so that you could proceed. Because, you don't know where it's going to go. And being a brand new trail, you really don't. None of us knew.
I mean, my
what
front
was
end,
gonna happen.
front end could have slid over quickly
Yes.
on those rocks.
Because the way it was going, I mean, there was a time you were.
I
you
was
know,
just
snaking.
essing, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
But
so
it was good.
but good times.
It was a good time, and we, the trail ride we had, more than 100 Jeeps there.
Yep.
The weather on Saturday turned absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
It
That was amazing.
the top was back on the
Yep.
Jeep. We all had great groups to be a part of.
Absolutely.
That to me, Saturday was like quintessential Jeep Club jeeping.
And we were doing good things. So the trail ride was benefiting the Pack the Backpack program for the Shamokin School District,
Yep.
which is a very important program that provides food and supplies for underprivileged kids in the district that might not be getting that meal when they go home on the weekend, or it's supplementing their the food that they have at home. And it's very important for us to be able to give back as a club to the communities that we hang out in a lot. So it's really a great program, near and dear to the AOAA's heart. And so we wanted to help them give back, and they make a good donation every year to this program, and we wanted to help out with that as well.
Yeah, I love that we do good work. It's something that was important with us when we started the club, and I'm so glad we continue that. And that was one of those that really meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
it's pretty killer.
And these organizations and these programs are in your probably hometown school district as well. So if you're looking to get involved, definitely reach out to somebody in the district, and you can do your part as well.
Yeah. So coming up later in the episode, we are going to be featuring Midland USA, and Kaylee Peterson.
Yeah.
She's going to join us.
Talking everything about radios. And we're not talking about your head unit. We're talking about the things that you hold in your hand and communicate with other people.
Yep. Trail communication is important.
Yep.
I know we all experience that, and we love our Midland Radios, so stay tuned for that. If you have a story to tell us, if you have a shop to show us, if you have a question to ask, if you have anything that you want us to know about,
Jeepin' to share.
Yeah, we want to hear about it. I've got a couple emails. I didn't pull them out tonight, but I do have a couple emails that came in this week that I want to share. But send us your email, info@jeeplifepodcast.com. Also rate us and give us a review on your podcast app. We would appreciate that. Where are we going to be?
Jeez. Well, we were just at the Jeep Enthusiasts of Eastern Pennsylvania Spring Trail Ride. And next weekend, Terry is heading to Jeep Beach in Daytona, Florida.
Yep. There's people already there.
Really?
As we speak,
Yeah, I
there
saw
are people
that on
there.
Facebook.
Wow.
What?
So that runs April 24th to the 28th. And make sure you get there because Terry's going to be there. So June 18th to the 19th is the Bantam Jeep Festival in Butler, Pennsylvania, the birthplace of the Jeep. And then we're going to be heading to the Reclaim for First Responders event on June 29th in Columbus, New Jersey, put on by the Pine Barrens Venom Jeep Club. And that is going to be a show and shine and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. So make sure you check that event out. July 12th to the 14th is New Jersey Jeep Invasion in Wildwood, New Jersey, and I'm definitely going to be there. Terry's definitely going to be there. Jason's definitely going to be there, and we're going to be hanging it out and bringing you some live episodes.
I guarantee you some live antics.
And it's going to be a good time. And then July 13th is actually the Oracle at Night party.
That's right. Yeah.
So Invasion of the Nighttime, or something of the sort. But you're going to show up and you're going to put on your lights, and hopefully they're Oracle lights. So come by, say hi. We're going to be all hanging out there. July 19th to the 20th is PA Allbridge Jeep Fest in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Hopefully it's not a hot one this year, but make sure you pack your ice packs. August 22nd to the 24th is Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. August 25th is the Warren Ride at Windrock in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, and that's going to be a great time hanging out with all the big rigs and all the big names. And then September 21st and 22nd is New Jersey Fall Jeep Invasion in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Woo!
Woo! That's going to be a lot of events. There's other events sprinkled in through there, car shows, Jeep meets, club events. And if you're looking to do something in your area, just search your local Jeep club, and you can definitely find something to do.
For sure. Well, it was great having Kaylee on tonight. Man, I've already forgotten more about radios.
I got to go read more because, well, first, I definitely need the MXT 500 because it's the only radio that will put up with me.
True. I've determined that I want some sort of radio mounted in my Jeep in addition to handhelds.
Yeah. I mean, so I have 4 of these GXT 1000s, which, as Kaylee said in our talk, they are probably one of the most used and sold and most popular radios out on the market. So I have 4 of them already, so I think I'm semi-covered in the handheld realm. But, you know, I heard from a little birdie that a lot of new products are coming out for Midland. And we'll see what they have in store for us when everything's released, and I might be getting something adding to the arsenal besides the MXT 500.
All right.
Because I need a new in-cab mount because,
I just want one that
I threw
makes
out that
the lights dim when you hit the button.
I threw out that old junk.
Yeah. Well, our thanks to Kaylee again for coming on with us and Midland for allowing that to happen. Killer radios. All right. Well, we've come to that time where I ask Billy, where can people find us?
Stop asking me where you can find us.
I've got to come up with a better saying.
Just tell them to tell a friend.
Oh, true. Tell a friend. All right.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram.
Click a like. Click a subscribe.
Leave us a review. Yeah. And if you would like to sponsor the podcast, head over to patreon.com, search Jeep Life Podcast, and you can support the podcast at a monthly donational fee, or you can just send checks local to us. We are very, very much receiving of...
Cash is king.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for Midland Radio, Kaylee, I got Jetty Jason, Break It Billy, and I'm Jeep and Terry, and here's a big Jeep wave to you, everybody. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know we do it in a little weird order when we're doing it live, but we'd like to respect people's time when they give it to us for the show. Anyway, have a good night. We'll see you out there.